There are always fireworks when AMSOIL Arenacross comes to town. Louisville was packed with exciting racing with a Kentucky native, Tyler Bowers, showing why he's the three-time champion. Can he dominate in North Carolina and take over the points lead? Find out next. It's definitely cold outside as fans make their way inside of Greensboro, North Carolina, as we're at round 6 of AMSOIL Arenacross, featuring Ricky Carmichael's Road to Supercross on Fox Sports 1. Welcome inside the Greensboro Coliseum. I'm Robbie Floyd. This is the motocross world champion, Grant Langston. You also have a couple Supercross titles as well. Chrissy Lee, we'll speak to her in just a moment. And also Ricky Carmichael joined us here in Greensboro. Well, 2014 really didn't start out the way that Tyler Bowers wanted to. I mean, he's the three-time defending champion, and he's still not in that points lead. What has taken him so long to finally get that groove that we saw him in Louisville?
I think what it's come down to now, Robbie, is he's a three-time champion. So when he's not winning, we wonder what's wrong with Tyler Bowers. We're 5 rounds into the series. He's not leading. He's right in the hunt. But after that dominating, convincing win in his home state of Kentucky, that may be just what he needed to get this season off to a jump start. I expect more.
Another thing is the young guns. There's guys challenging him, wanting to go head-to-head. The format, we have heat races, last chance qualifiers to make it to those 2 main events, where we'll have a 15-lap main event 1 and a main event number 2, and plus the head-to-head bracket racing. Here's our championship points. Zach Ames on top. Tyler Bowers has moved into second, only 3 points behind Mike Madade, Browning, and Hayes round out the top 5. Now let's go down to Chrissy Lee, who's down on the floor with one of our new competitors for 2014.
Number 57, Aaron Plessinger. You've only been with us the last 2 rounds. You started back in Baltimore and last weekend back in Louisville. This is your 3rd round. You've taken 2 wins in the main event, and you took the overall round 2 in Baltimore. You've got to feel good here at AMSOIL Arenacross.
AMSOIL Arenacross is treating me pretty good. I mean, coming in, I didn't think I was going to do this good, but I proved myself to be a factor in Baltimore, and then I went to Louisville, and then I kind of got sick in the first main and couldn't ride the second one, but I'm here to back myself up in Greensboro and win again.
We'll see if he can do it tonight. The man who's done it many times in Monster Energy Supercross, 5 times to be exact, Ricky Carmichael, the man who puts his name behind the Ricky Carmichael Road to Supercross. We were able to sit down and talk to him a little earlier today.
Well, I'm really excited about the AMSOIL Arenacross Ricky Carmichael Road to Supercross. This is the 2nd year, and it's cool to see the vision kind of come to fruition. I think the plan is working out perfectly. We got Aaron Plessinger, we have Jacob Hayes winning main events. To be able to come in here, you know, earn your Road to Supercross points and beat the regulars, that's saying something about the talent coming up. And I don't think that any of these guys are going to get that kind of environment anywhere else other than here.
It's been a really fun experience so far. I'm really enjoying every weekend. The racing is a lot different than anything I've ever done, being an amateur. It's kind of a game of chess a little bit, you know, when to go, when to kind of hold back. I've been learning a whole lot.
I think that they're liking it, you know, just kind of by watching what I've seen and read. I think that when they get to Supercross, they're thinking that's going to be a lot easier, and this is going to pay dividends in the long run.
I've gotten so much out of this between everyone out there cheering for you and all the fast guys out here you're racing against you on the line. I think 100% the Road to Supercross will help you.
Look at Tyler Bowers, how much success he's had in AMSOIL Arenacross Series, and look what happened at the Las Vegas Finals last year. The guy won a main event.
It's a great idea, and it's probably one of the best decisions I've made so far, and it's been great to me, and I think be ready to bang some bars, and I'm looking for a good race tonight. Should be good.
I'm just happy to be able to see the Road to Supercross vision come true and see how well it's been working this year.
It's cool to see those fresh faces of the Road to Supercross. We'll see how they do when heat race number 1 takes off right after this. AMSOIL Arenacross, always a fun time for the fans. The pre-race festivities. Guys getting to walk down here in Greensboro, meet the fans, and the fans get to meet the riders. A personal experience here at AMSOIL Arenacross. Welcome inside Greensboro Coliseum. I'm Robbie Floyd with Grant Langston. Christy Lee down there on the floor. The guys preparing for heat race number 1. But before we get to that, let's take a look at our GoPro track preview and the GoPro Hero 3 Plus, giving us some great shots. And as you can see, the track looks a little bit different, a little sandier here in Greensboro.
Coming over the finish line, Catapult on board with Kyle Regal. You'll notice the dirt a little bit looser this week. This whoop section gonna get cupped out, inside outside option as they come across the start gate. Into this rhythm, triple, fastest way to get through there. Tight little left, coming back down the start straight, hugging the side of that finish line landing into this rutted turn, and that's a lap here at Greensboro.
And we'd like to thank Kyle Regal with the Pabst Tylube Tough Racing Honda, giving us those great shots. And yes, this track will break down. There's clay, but there's a lot of loose dirt on top. As we get ready for heat race number 1, pick out your favorite rider at the top of the screen. The 3-time defending champ Tyler Bowers in this one.
15 riders, 10 laps, top 7 advance to the main event. But really, you want to be in that top 4 to have an opportunity to go and get a bonus point or 2 in the head-to-head bracket race.
Right, exactly. You want to get in that bracket race. Also, a good gate pick for the main event. Here we go, heat race number 1.
Carter sideways, gate will drop. Oh, a couple guys flinch. Kelly Smith almost getting stuck in the gate, but a lot of argy-bargy into turn 1.
Dude, Kelly Smith went from a good starting position to literally 3rd from last right now as Tyler Bowers on that Babbitt's Monster Energy AMSOIL Kawasaki taking lead, taking the outside line. A nice smooth line, keeps that momentum going.
Yeah, triple through there, keeping the momentum. But you can see this track a little sandier than we've seen all season long. This track will deteriorate as the night goes on, and you can see that loose dirt catches out number 6 there. Willie Browning just washes out on the first lap of the first heat race. Not the way he wanted his night to get started, but out front, 3-time defending champion Tyler Bowers on that number 1 Kawasaki comes across the finish line, doing what he does best, out front.
Yeah, nice lime green Moose Racing colors this weekend. Wheel taps the first. He's trying to find that rhythm, takes the inside. That's also a little different twist to it. Now he takes that inside to outside move. We're seeing some line changes already.
Well, great riders come up with great ideas. And you know, the way the whoops are breaking down, theoretically, you want to skim him, meaning staying on top, you know, like a stone across water. But with him breaking down, he's able to do this wheel tap and hop back out. As we look back in second place, Stephen Majors, number 12, right there, followed by the number 90 of Jacob Hayes. So the green machine's doing great in heat race number 1. 1, 2, 3, as we see in the 4th place, it is Daniel Blair on the KTM.
Halfway through heat race number 1. Again, the top 4 move on to that head-to-head bracket race. The top 7 go directly to the main event. You do not want to ride the last chance qualifier. There's Hayes trying to get that rhythm, move up maybe 1 more position. Jacob Hayes, the name, another local here. We have 2, Mike McDade and Jacob Hayes, trying to put on a show for the hometown crowd.
Definitely looks like he wants to impress his friends and family, and who wouldn't at your home race? Make hay while the sun shines in that 3rd position in the heat race, but he looks like he's wanting to move up, a little impatient. But that's what happens at your hometown race, right?
Yeah, but Steve Majors, he doesn't want to let him buy the number 12 Kawasaki on the Slack-Aware Gateway Cycles machine. The number 12 signifies that's where he finished last year, was 12th in AMSOIL Arenacross points. Lap 7 of 10 now, and really no pressure for Tyler Bowers. We've seen multiple lane changes. That wasn't necessarily the line I think you want to take.
You know, I think as the evening goes on, it's going to vary. One line that may be the prominent line or the fastest way in the beginning will deteriorate and probably become the slower line. Having a look there, Daniel Blair. Oh, and the track coming into effect there. The loose soil, you watch the front end, just climbs out of that rut, tucks that front end, and goes down.
Jared Steinke really just tucked the front end, much like we saw earlier in the race. That was a battle for that final transfer position. Only 7 move on to the main, and we're in the waning laps of this heat race number 1, and still not able to get things fired up is Daniel Blair.
What a bummer there. We were talking about this soil and this track tonight. The track may be that 12th man as well, taking guys down, but Tyler Bowers not having any issues as he takes that white flag.
Well, we haven't seen a track like this. Yes, the shape of it Oh, I love that through the whoops. Looks similar, but the dirt is definitely a different factor. It doesn't mean it's worse. It just means it's different.
Spotlight on number 1, Tyler Bowers on that Kawasaki as he mixes up that rhythm section going triple. Final corner, checkered flag for Tyler Bowers.
Takes another heat race win. The top 7 will move on to the main event as Steve Roman takes that final transfer spot. Kelly Smith, a horrible start. Nathan Skaggs, Janolfi, 3 big names not going to transfer directly to the final.
As we have a look at the replay, watch the orange bike, gets on the throttle. Daniel Blair tucks the front as that front end climbs out of this loose dirt, and Garrett Steinke with nowhere to go, wrong place, wrong time. Daniel Blair will be seeing himself in that last chance qualifier.
Now let's go to Christy Lee, who's with a Heat 1 winner.
Number 1, Tyler Bowers, just taking that first heat of the night win. Congratulations. You certainly made it look easy out there with some difficult track conditions.
Yeah, the track's really slick tonight, and the key's going to be the start. I got off to a good start and was able to keep a good pace going. That's going to be the key for the main events tonight.
Number 1, Tyler Bowers, going in strong to tonight's main events.
Much like he did at the last round in Louisville, Christy. Well, we have heat race number 1 done, but we still have plenty more racing. Heat race number 2 is coming up next. Truly an awesome part of AMSOIL Arenacross is getting to see the little guys, 50 cc's, 4 to 8 years old. I remember when Trey Kennard was on little 50s. Now look at him, big time Trey Kennard in Monster Energy Supercross. Also having that AMSOIL Dominator Super Minis, the big bikes, the big little bikes get out there as well, trying to qualify for the Amateur Nationals in Las Vegas. Welcome back to AMSOIL Arenacross in Greensboro, North Carolina. Before we go to heat race number 2, let's go down to Christy Lee.
Round 4 of AMSOIL Arenacross here in Greensboro, North Carolina. The track conditions this weekend are very different from last weekend. The dirt is very loose this time, making some of these turns and whoops and rhythm sections a lot harder on some of our riders. I talked to number 4 of Mike McDade earlier, who sits 4th in the championship point standings currently, and he talked about how these difficult track conditions were going to play heavily, especially into the second main tonight, as they continue to deteriorate throughout the evening. So getting a good start off the gate is key for tonight's race.
No doubt about it, Christy. Also keeping the bike on 2 wheels. We saw heat race number 1. It's not that easy.
Well, with this dirt, losing the front end or the rear end is very, very easy. And as this track deteriorates, we're going to see guys making more and more mistakes. 30-second card goes up for heat number 2.
In this one, we see Bowers' teammate, Zach Ames. We also see Mike McDade, the number 4. Kyle Regal in this one as well. Another good heat race. 2 rows starting. And only Regal with a hole shot, 471 with a great start.
Round the outside keeps the momentum going through the whoops. But right behind him, our series points leader at this point, Zach Ames. Great start as these guys go triple. We see guys splitting the lanes, inside, outside, different rhythm. Back across the start straight for the first time. And the guy that leads lap 1, Kyle Regal.
Yeah, on that Pabst tie lube, Tough Racing Honda. Good to have Tough back in the series. Good to have Kyle Regal in AMSOIL Arenacross. This is a guy who qualified for several Monster Energy Supercrosses. He's getting his taste for Arenacross. It's good to have him in the series.
Always great to see talent no matter what series they're racing in. This onboard shot, I love seeing these onboard shots. See the rut starting to develop over that catapult. A lot bigger in person.
When you see him take that inside, now he's on the outside of the whoops. Why would you take the inside going up to that catapult instead of keeping that momentum going? What's going through his head?
Well, when the ruts start developing, Robbie, you sometimes don't really have a lot of choice. You become like a slot car where you pick a line and go with it. See the guys staying low because they have the grunt on these big bikes to get over that catapult.
And in case you're wondering, these are not 450s. These are all 250s you see at AMSOIL Arenacross. They don't ride the big bikes anymore. But still plenty of power inside these tight confines as we look at the Babbitt's Monster Energy AMSOIL Kawasaki of Zach Ames trying to close in on Regal.
You see that great roost shot, just getting the power delivery perfectly coming out of that turn. Beautiful spray. Same thing there. Coming in one of the strongest points for Zach Ames, the whoops. Him and Tyler Bowers, the teammates, great in the whoops, got their suspension dialed. And he's now within striking distance, so Kyle Regal can now hear and feel him right behind him.
Closing in's one thing, passing is another, especially when you take those inside lines. There's another answer to my question earlier probably. I don't want to go outside because this is Arenacross. I don't want to get hit.
Well, we've seen with Arenacross, if you leave the door open, someone's going to shut it for you. As we have a look behind the front two, we see the number 206, Travis Sewell, on that orange KTM, trying to keep tabs of the front two, and obviously wants to be in that top 4 and go to that bracket race.
The TZR Woodstock KTM out of Westville, Indiana. 7 laps are almost in the books as he hits that berm one more time. This is a 10-lap heat race. Your chances of making it to the main get smaller and smaller if you have to ride that last chance qualifier. And Travis Sewell with one of his best qualifying positions right now, very respectable lap times. Maybe this track suits his style. He likes the looser dirt.
Well, if there's one thing I've learned over time, there's guys that do like the looser type dirt where the bike's moving around. As we have a look up front, Kyle Regal got this race under control. Triple through that rhythm section, looking super smooth. Look, I love watching those guys do that rear end around and do a nice power slide.
Yeah, and it's not herky-jerky either. I mean, he's not stabbing it in, stabbing it out. He's nice rail around the berm.
There you go. You see it again, carrying that momentum into the whoops. See, some of the guys starting to time him, some of the guys still skimming through. And even here, different options, but triple seem to be the main way to go and the fastest and most consistent.
Next time around, they will receive the white flag, yellow flag signifying caution. Watch out, somebody is down, possibly around. As they do take the white flag, that does not mean do not jump on that yellow flag. That would be a cross flag. But Kyle Regal, only about a half a lap remaining. You see him seat bounce right there and triple. Smooth sailing for him. And it looks like he's going to take the heat race win. One more right-hand turn. And the Tylube Pabst Tough Racing Yamaha takes heat race number 2. Colt 45, Colt Nichols makes a pass on that last lap, moves into 3rd spot. Travis Sewell, both of those guys will still make it to the head-to-head bracket race. Plessinger, Green, and McDade go on to the main event. Glenn, Gibbs, and Archer, you're going to have to ride the LCQ. Now let's go down to Christy Lee.
Number 471 of Kyle Regal qualifying 5th for tonight's main events and taking the Heat 2 win. You must have felt strong out there, even with these tough track conditions. Tell us about your heat.
Yeah, I rode good. It's going to come down to the starts. And got the whole shot, rode my own race. A couple guys went down, avoided that, and got the win.
In convincing fashion, there's Tyler Bowers, Robbie Marshall, chatting it up here before their head-to-head bracket race. We'll see it when we return. It's about head-to-head bracket racing here at AMSOIL Arenacross. Robbie Floyd, Grant Langston, Christy Lee here with you. And the bracket race, you qualified to get in this head-to-head bracket race by finishing in the top 4 from your heats. Now, these guys get 1 point for that, but they also get a bonus point if they win this head-to-head matchup. You see Regal's knocked off Marshall, Hayes has knocked off Ames, and that will be our first matchup. These two going at it.
Gator sideways, here we go, on board with Kyle Regal. It's a lot of this is to do with the start, but Hayes gets it into that first turn.
Can I call him Purple Hayes? Jacob Hayes out in front, wheel taps, and he goes that inside immediately.
One hop through that whoops, going through that sort of a timing section rather than skimming it. Oh, Regal catching that tough block, not able to go triple, has to single out. And on these short races, with 1 lap to go, you can't afford that.
It's only a 2-lap race. He had no chance to really make up ground if you're behind. Jacob Hayes in that Brewer Cycles Adams Performance Kawasaki. Looking good, wearing those Fox colors. Yeah, it looks like smooth sailing for him. He only has 1 more left-hand turn to go.
He's riding with so much enthusiasm tonight. Love this. And he's going to find himself in a position to get an extra bonus point. Jacob Hayes takes the win.
And throws out a little soul sample for the fans. Nice wheelie action there as we move to the head-to-head semi number 2, the 206 going at it. Travis Sewell knocked off Tyler Bowers. Steve Magis lost to Colt Nichols. And side by side going in, and Colt got the better end. And the 206 got the better end. Travis Sewell going down. Colt showing what's up in that left-hand turn, huh?
Well, if you got the inside on one of these races, I mean, he did what any normal guy would do. Take your competitor up to the bales and give him nowhere to go. Shut off or go down.
And the looser dirt just kind of accentuated that as well.
Well, that's exactly it. It really was that. I mean, the lines are just blending together now because there's one main line. So this is almost a parade for Colt out front, enjoying himself with the spotlight on him, getting a little TV time, going to the main.
Yeah, but he's going to the main, and he's also going to the head-to-head matchup final where he's trying to get that 1 extra championship point. And we'll find out who takes it from there. So 2 guys in the Ricky Carmichael Road to Supercross make this head-to-head matchup final. A little proving ground, a little testing ground for Monster Energy Supercross for these guys. Let's see what they learn from each other.
Great to see 2 youngsters in here, but let's see. 2 green machines, 2 guys that want to win this. Gate's about to drop.
I want that inside gate, I'll tell you that.
And that's why, but let's see. Oh, Hayes comes up the inside. Oh, blows the hay bales off. And the crowd going nuts for their hometown boy.
Little look over. It's like playing tag with your buddy. Now going to get that drive on the outside.
No.
Cole Nichols, triple.
Different rhythm, but he's got the inside. And oh, he gives him a brake check. And the crowd once again come to their feet.
The white flag's going to come out. 1 more lap to go. It's only a 2-lap race. He's looking. It almost looks like track cycling. Have you ever seen that at the Olympics?
Yeah.
They're looking backwards more than forwards.
That's because he knows that he's going to stuff him on the last lap if he has an opportunity. But I don't think he's going to do it. Triple the way to get through there. This is maybe his last opportunity for Colt 45. And I think Jacob Hayes
is going to take the win and the 1 point. Now let's send it down to our former AMSOIL Arenacross rider, Justin Buckaloo.
Tonight in Greensboro, we have a unique set of whoops. Usually in AMSOIL Arenacross, the whoops are spaced pretty evenly apart. But tonight, there's a couple whoops in the middle of the section that have a bigger gap than the rest. This makes it hard for the riders to blitz them and stay on top without dropping their front wheel. Because of this, we're seeing some of the riders opt to jump through the whoop section. Also, the dirt is really sandy, so it's breaking down as the night wears on. It'll be interesting to see in the 15-lap main events how much the whoops break down and which riders choose to blitz and skim across the top and which riders choose to jump through them and save a little bit of energy.
Very good point, Justin. Hey, Ricky Carmichael in the house this weekend signing autographs along with Jeff Gibson, former AMSOIL Arenacross champion, Tyler Bowers. It's fun to give a little back to the fans.
It's always great live. The fireworks, the atmosphere, everything about it, the crowd noise. And look, you could actually meet the greatest of all time, Ricky Carmichael, in person.
I thought you told me you were the greatest of all time.
Well, I am kind of a big deal, Robbie.
Yeah, I hear that. Here it is, last chance qualifier. These are the guys that didn't make it directly to the main, only an 8-lap race this time, and only 2 guys get to move on.
Pressure's up. I mean, look how many single-digit numbers on the front row as the card goes sideways. Who's going to be 2 riders through to the main event?
Who gets the whole shot? It looks like it's going to be the number 5, that Fly Racing, Team Faith, KTM, Kelly Smith in front.
Jeff Gibson there sitting in 3rd place, but he knows he's got to get into the top 2, otherwise he's going to have a great seat in the stands watching the race. And that's all he wants as he comes underneath Nathan Skaggs. Not quite able to make the pass happen as they get the green flag, meaning racing continues.
The number 8, the green Kawasaki, Nathan Skaggs in 2nd. That's the final transfer. Jeff Gibson trying to do all the opposite. See, he goes inside right there. Jeff Gibson, the number 2, the Tylube Tough Racing.
Oh, as he cased that double.
Oh, but he still takes position. Now he's got to shut it down. That Honda takes over 2nd. That's the final transfer.
And a crucial overtaking maneuver. Kelly Smith now got a little bit of breathing room, hopping through those whoops. Jeff Gibson making the switch from KTM last year, now on this red number 2 Honda machine, looking solid in a qualifying position. And are we going to see a battle brewing for oh, and
somebody tips it over in the background, so that just opens the door for these 2 guys to just battle out and not worry about pressure from behind. And Skaggs tries. He's given a little room to give me, but boy, he's got some serious swap out there in the whoops.
You got to love that final transfer position. These guys know exactly what's going on. Skaggs knowing he has to get into that 2nd place in front of Jeff Gibson, otherwise he'll be watching the race as well. And Jeff Gibson, as the guy who was the runner-up last year, definitely does not want to be out of this main event.
He almost won the championship. It shows you how hard it is in AMSOIL Arenacross. This is a guy who came down to the last main event of the season with a chance to win and knock Tyler Bowers away from that number 1 plate. And right now he's struggling for his life here as it looks like Skaggs.
Not giving up at all.
No, and I thought he was going to get inside of him there. And that's the one thing you don't want to do is give the guy the inside.
Well, this is a testament to the Ricky Carmichael Road to Supercross. I think the depth this year is so much deeper. We're seeing guys that have won races and are former champions that are battling to get in the main event. And you got to remember, you go down the heat race or have a mechanical, anything minor, you find yourself the LCQ. This is your last opportunity. So pressure's on. Jeff Gibson can feel it as Nathan Skaggs is not letting him go. Top 3, but only 2 go through.
Nathan Skaggs, rider number 8 on that green Kawasaki, sponsored by Motorsport.com, MJM Express, and Spine Chillers. Last year, the team was on KTM's, now a mixture of bikes, but still the same team.
Kelly Smith from Michigan, a guy that loves the looser kind of conditions. Former teammate of mine back in the KTM Supercross days, but now starting to come under a little bit of pressure from Jeff Gibson. Not sure if he's going to push the issue. As we see the spotlight on number 5, Kelly Smith, that means he's coming around to take the checkered flag, and he will go straight to the main event, as will Jeff Gibson.
But not moving on is Nathan Skaggs.
Hey, I'm Clint Boyer, driving the 5 Hour Energy Toyota. I love watching arena cross on Fox Sports 1.
It is main event time here at Greensboro, North Carolina, Greensboro Coliseum. Grant Langston, Robbie Floyd, Christy Lee with you. In the main events, we have 16 riders. They will race 15 laps in both main event number 1 and main event number 2, worth valuable championship points. After this first main, the winner of main number 1 will pick the inversion for main event number 2, as we're on board with Kyle Riegel, the 471, our top qualifier.
Charging down to the first turn, main event number 1. Who's it going to be? 3 guys come in. Oh, a lot of green bikes up front, but it's actually the Travis Sewell, number 206 on the KTM, squeezing in amongst that kind of Kawasaki brigade. Coming back down the start straight for the first time. He'll go across this catapult finish line jump, get the green flag, means we're good for racing. Lap 2 underway.
And you see that they do rework the track before the main events, nice and smooth in some of the berms, but not necessarily in that whoop section. You're starting to see some swapping out.
As you see the mechanics there clapping on their riders, trying to get them all pumped up, yelling and screaming. Passionate sport. Travis Sewell still out front, but coming under pressure from the hometown kid.
Yep, the Brewer Cycles Kawasaki from Liberty, North Carolina. Jacob Hayes, already a winner earlier this year in Baltimore, so he knows how to get it done. But can he do it here in front of the hometown crowd? He would like nothing more, just like Tyler Bowers did in Louisville at our last stop.
Oh, what a beautiful passing maneuver.
Pretty.
We call that the up and under. Squared it up, got the power down, and he leads the first lap of tonight in the main event.
He made no contact. That was a learning experience. What he learned so far coming into AMSOIL Arenacross, I think he's kind of played off his experiences already.
I'm really impressed with his riding tonight. Jacob Hayes looks like a seasoned veteran. Looks like somebody that's at his home race that really, really wants to win. And it's showing, because look at that gap already. Not even a lap later after taking the lead. He's stretching out as we have a look a little bit further back. Zach Ames, the red background, that indicates that he is our current points leader.
And if he's losing 0.8 a second a lap, it doesn't take long to figure out that he's not going to be winning this race. He's trying to salvage what he can do in this race. He's got to turn it up.
Well, he's not that far off the leader, Jacob Hayes, number 90, who is the hometown kid and definitely just seems to be on rails tonight. This is his night to lose, it seems. But
mind you, I want to clarify myself. If he's losing 0.8 of a second every lap, he's not going to win this race. But don't count him out, because there's still a lot of racing left.
We've seen with Tyler Bowers and Zach Ames, sometimes in the early laps in the race, you know, the guys are finding their rhythm, finding the lines. You see, like Jacob Hayes going around that rut. Guys find their comfort zone, and once they find that, they will stick with their lines unless they have to change, for example, to make a pass or lap rider. But we're still seeing the gap up front staying pretty close. The only change I've seen is the number 1, Tyler Bowers, creeping up in saying, hey, I want to make this a 4-way party.
Yeah, he's inside that top 5 behind his teammate on that Babbitt's Monster Energy Kawasaki.
Ames made a little bobble, couldn't triple in, leaves the door open.
Bowers.
Oh, Bowers side by side, wheel contact. Will he cut underneath him?
Not this time.
That turn getting really tight, especially with the ruts, confining everyone to the inside. Both these guys really strong in the whoops. Tyler Bowers gets to the inside and just takes the line away from his teammate. Oh!
And the front end washes out. We've seen it several times now. Now Ames stuck in the back tire. Colt Nichols works his way by, but there's our series points leader, and the man just behind him in points, and that just opens even more room out for everybody going in. There's Kyle Riegel going down. Jacob Hayes is separating himself, and there's a big gap between second and third. Sewell's looking good. As we look back on Riegel's onboard camera, and again, he just tucks the front end.
We've seen that tonight several times, and I'm sure it may not be the last time as the guys are starting to lose. Oh, see Jacob Hayes, same thing, just
is it a tire
traction.
selection, or is it
It's the dirt. There's not a lot of foundation to get mechanical grip and get these knobbies to bite. So what happens late in the race is they start washing out.
Look at the advantage these guys have. Jacob Hayes, Travis Sewell 1 and 2, and nobody even in the picture behind. The 45 of Nichols nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, now we see the Monster Energy Babbitt's Kawasaki riders coming into the frame, but it seemed like a team meeting there in the corner. All three teammates getting caught up in a simple tip over by Tyler Bowers, just losing the front end in this loose soil.
Outside the top 10 right now, around 13th position. Jacob trying to work his way through the lap riders. When you're out in front, only a couple laps to go, you want to win in front of the hometown crowd. He's had the perfect night so far. Won that head-to-head, the bracket race, but you have to work through the lappers first, and that's always a tough situation, especially with a loose dirt.
You see him having a little quick look over there. As a rider, when you're out front, you're managing the situation. It's like you're out front, nothing to gain, everything to lose. So he's having a look over the shoulder. What do I have to do? Do I need to triple this? Do I need to stuff the lap rider? Or can I be patient? You know, it's a chess game too.
But you can't lose too much time or the guy's right on top of you. In arena cross, it is tight.
I was going to say, in arena cross, it just takes one corner, half a lap, anything, and this thing gets turned upside down. White flags out. Second place rider, Travis Sewell. But out front, Jacob Hayes, the hometown kid, he's got to be grinning out of that helmet. His mechanic just giving him that last little pep talk or yell at as he comes through the final time. You've got this, bro.
Like a water boy incident here. One more right-hand turn, and it looks like he's going to take his second main event win of the season. Yeah, you think he's happy?
He is pumped.
Faux show. So is Travis Sewell. His best finish of the year. And Nichols comes across, looks over, and says, yeah, baby, I'm making the podium here in main event number 1. So look at the leaderboard. A lot of different names up on top. One name you don't see is Tyler Bowers. Let's go down to Christy.
Taking the main 1 win tonight here in Greensboro, North Carolina. Congratulations to the number 90 of Jacob Hayes. Jacob, this is your hometown track here. You live just about 5 minutes from here. You got a lot of family and friends here tonight, I understand.
Yeah, I got a bunch of family and friends. You know, everyone came out. This is the first race they've been to. So I want to put on a good show. Started off with third place in the heat race. Actually won the head-to-head bracket, and then going 1 in the first main and picking the 0 inversion. So I'm stoked. Can't thank everybody enough. Can't wait to go out here for this next main event.
So you heard it, no inversion. The 0 was picked. He'll get first pick on the gate. Tyler Bowers, you're in the back, buddy. Before we fire him up for main event number 2, let's quickly go down to the floor and Christy Lee.
Riders getting prepped for the second main tonight. We saw both number 3 of Zach Ames and the number 1 of Tyler Bowers get tangled up during the first main. Tyler finishing in 11th position. Now with the number 8 being picked for the invert, you see him starting on the back row. Tyler's definitely going to work very hard to move up in the pack at the start of this race, especially with the difficult conditions after the second main.
Thanks a lot, Christy. So that 0 inversion has Jacob Hayes with the first pick. Where does he pick? Smack dab in the middle of it all.
Well, he would have looked at the ruts and the lines coming out of the gate. You want to be somewhere near that inside front row, not like Tyler Bowers, inside back row. But gate's about to drop. It's down. Who's going to take this whole shot?
Colt Nichols.
A bunch of Kawasaki's again in the first turn. But yes, it's Colt Nichols out front, followed by main event number 1 winner, Jacob Hayes.
The Monster Energy Babbitt's Kawasaki looking good. The 45 out in front of this one, looking for his first main event of the year. Look at him sitting down, coming to that turn. He's looking for traction, right, when he's doing that. He's trying to get that front wheel planted.
Well, you can get away with it when it's a little bit looser, of sitting down in the braking bumps, as we've seen the guys coming through the whoop section, and now even alternating the lines after that. We have that kind of double left, 90-90, not a regular 180s, but kind of creating the same difference, coming around this right-hander before the finish line.
Watching Colt, though, it looks like he's sitting down an awful lot. Is he doing it just because the track is somewhat groomed and he can?
I think what it comes down to at this point is, with the dirt being loose for some of the guys, when you sit down, you put more pressure on the tires to create more grip. That's what he's going for.
Even right there, even in the whoop section, it looked like he was sitting down. Jacob Hayes, the winner of main event number 1, in second right now. That would give him his first overall AMSOIL Arenacross title, or event win if he stays where he's at and everybody stays the same. But Colt looking good out in front now, starting to get a little pressure. You see the number 4 is starting to sneak in, Mike McDade.
Also one of our Ricky Carmichael Road to Supercross riders, as you can see, starting to get a little impatient, sticking his nose up the inside, letting Colt Nichols know, I'm right here, buddy. Leave that door open, and I'm coming through.
You also see a different line combination between the two. Colt taking the outside there, taking the smooth sweeping turn, where you see Jacob taking that inside, trying to double and take over that position.
Doesn't seem like it's making much difference right there, but what is happening is it's giving the number 90
after the turn.
Exactly. Right after the turn, carrying that momentum out. Colt Nichols out front. Got to be feeling the pressure. Starting to make a couple little mistakes. Going double, triple, single through there. Jacob Hayes going triple, triple. So essentially cutting one transition through there out, you know, doing it in one little hop.
So Denny Bart's the team manager for Babbitt's Kawasaki. He knows how to get it done for the championship. Right now, his rider getting it done in main event number 2. Nervous times for him, though. You know the rookie has to be a little nervous, especially the guy who won main event number 1 just behind Mike McDade. You see his lap times pretty consistent there, but he's on the outside looking in, trying to get up there. We haven't seen really the Mike McDade early on in the year that we saw last year.
Yeah, and that, you know, you never know. We're still kind of early. He's showing that he's still Mike McDade. He's got some great speed. He's got some great skill.
Crossing over.
But you know what? Making the most of it. Couple little mistakes. That's what we're saying. This track is deteriorating, and it's starting to break down.
Well, one other thing with Mike McDade, he also said he wasn't going to push as hard because with 4 events remaining in the season, we will re-rack the points. The top 10 guys will start with a clean slate. That's where he says he's really going to turn it on. Right now, turning it on is the 45 of Colton Nichols. He's looking smooth, about that same advantages he's had over Hayes the entire time.
Jacob Hayes sitting there, but he knows at this point, I've got the overall. But when you're in your home state in front of your fans and friends and everyone, you want to go 1-1, and he looks like he wants that. He's keeping the pressure on. He's got some distance behind him, so he doesn't have to look over his shoulder and worry about someone running it up the inside of him. Right now, he's focused on that front leader, and he wants to take this win, and I think he's going to play it very professionally and wait for the right moment.
Tyler Bauer still back in 5th spot, having to work his way up from that 2nd row start, so 5th not bad. Will there be enough time for him to move into that possible podium position? I know Mike McDade and a few others are going to have something to say about that when he catches up.
You bet they will. Coming through this whoop section, we're starting to see these lines develop where guys are getting kind of caught. You see, you now have pretty much an inside-outside option, but Jacob Hayes keeps using that outside, and I think what's happening is without guys going there, it's not getting deteriorated as badly, and I think it's going to come into effect later in this race as there's nothing now between the front 2.
And one thing I'm not noticing out there with a few more laps remaining is I'm not seeing a blue flag being waved. And a lot of times you will signify and say, hey, the leader's coming by, watch out, there's a race going on, you're not in it. I haven't seen one blue flag, but everybody seems to be pretty aware of where Jacob Hayes is right now.
As he's coming up to the finish line, but our championship points leader in 6th place was Zach Ames. He's probably 2/3 of a lap behind his younger teammate of the number 45, Colt Nichols, who's actually ridden a very mature race. I thought Jacob Hayes may have made the move earlier in this race, but let's see what happens.
He also knows that these are his hometown fans. As one more lap to go, he might know that a 1-2 will give him the overall and take the victory here tonight. Don't do anything crazy, not only for points, but finish on top of that podium. But nobody right now has had anything for Colt Nichols. With 1 turn remaining, he's going to win his first ever AMSOIL Arenacross main event victory. And the Babbitt's Monster Energy AMSOIL Kawasaki takes the win. Hayes takes the overall with a 1-2 main event score. There's Tyler Bowers coming across, salvaging some points, and his teammate just behind, Zach Ames in 6th. So there's your top 10, and what a race it was for Colt Nichols. Finishing 2nd overall behind Jacob Hayes, Stephen Magis in 3rd. Man, look at that top 3.
Not the podium I would have predicted, and not to mention the front 2 guys, part of the Ricky Carmichael Road to Supercross young talent. Let's see what these guys can do in the future.
Stephen Magis with his best main event finishes this year. Previously, his best was at stop number 2, where he had a 7th and a 5th. Right now, he's down on the floor with Christy Lee.
Number 12, Stephen Mages taking 2 fourth-place finishes tonight and 3rd overall for the evening. This is your first podium finish here in the Arena Cross main class. You got to feel great about that.
Yeah, definitely. Just going with the lights class and getting a 2nd overall in that first one, and then having to Ironman it and do the next 2 mains in the big class, getting the 3rd overall in that. So really excited, really pumped for that.
Well, congratulations once again, and best of luck for the next round.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
As you mentioned, Grant, a surprising podium. None bigger maybe than the 45. Colt Nichols takes the main event 2 win and 2nd place in the overall.
Another new face this season to AMSOIL Arena Cross, the number 45 of Colt Nichols, taking your first main event win here, round 4 this weekend in Greensboro. How did you feel about that race? Congrats again.
Thank you. It was amazing. A complete turnaround from last weekend, not even making it into the main. And then me and my trainer, Robbie Raynard at RTC, we really put in a lot of work this week on starts, and everyone there was helping me out a lot. And got 3rd in the first main, then the 2nd main, whole shot it, and pretty much ran away with it, so it couldn't have gotten any better. I'm ecstatic.
And Jacob Hayes almost had the perfect night. He won the head-to-head, main event number 1, but he settled for 2nd in main event number 2, but that was good enough for the overall.
Jacob Hayes, basically, I just had to peel you away from all your friends and family here supporting you tonight. You're absolutely on fire this evening, taking the 1st overall for the evening on the podium. Congratulations on an outstanding performance. What better way to celebrate on your home turf with all your family and friends?
Oh, it's unbelievable. I wanted to come in here and show the fans, that I can do this and support the hometown crowd. I had a lot of weight riding on my shoulders, and I think I handled it pretty well. Came out, rode great in practice. Did a lot of testing with total control suspension this week, got it dialed in, and then ended up winning the head-to-head bracket, which was awesome. 2nd time winning that. Won the first main event with a pretty comfortable lead. I just rode smart, and then the 2nd one, Colt got off to a great start. Can't take anything away from him. He was riding awesome. Just rode a smart and smooth race and got away with my 1st overall. It feels good to do it right here in front of the hometown crowd. They showed me so much love tonight. I think they're the reason why I got it.
What's not to love with Jacob Hayes taking the victory? But look at Colt Nichols in championship points. He is 6th now. He was 12th coming into this round, and he needs to finish in that top 10 if he's going to make it to that race to the championship. And that's the objective, is you have to be in that race to the championship. Those top 10 guys, the top 5 guys, they're going to make it, barring injury. It's the guys that are 6th, 7th, 8th, down to maybe 13th place that they have to be there, and the closer we get to that cutoff, it's going to be nervous time.
Well, if you're in 13th, you're going to have to step it up, bottom line. Time's running out. You want to make that race for the championship. Top 5, like you're saying, they've sort of separated themselves. Barring injury, I think they're locked in. But I think we have 10 guys roughly trying to go for 5 position. So your odds are 50%. So you better step it up now because time's running out.
Well, one thing we heard from riders is I'm not going to try as hard in the first part. But now, as we get closer to that cutoff, they're going to have to start picking it up because they're going to want to build momentum.
They're not going to try hard in the first half. Not buying it. That means I'm not going to take any unnecessary risks. But they get into crunch time, I will see these guys stepping it up, and I believe we're going to see a lot of guys trying to squeeze into a few positions to make that race to the championship.
Yeah, you can always expect bar-banging action here at AMSOIL Arena Cross. So that's going to wrap things up here at Greensboro, North Carolina. We're going to pack up and work our way west to Milwaukee, Wisconsin for the next stop of AMSOIL Arena Cross. But for Grant Langston and Chris Ely, I'm Robbie Floyd, and you can always find us online at arenacross.com, Facebook, Twitter. However it takes getting there, just make sure you get there. We'll see you at the next round in Milwaukee.